Hello students, I hope you all are fit and fine and I hope you all are sitting with your textbook. If not, so please take out your textbook and open page number 148. So in previous video, I gave you recap of chapter 13, motion and time. Still half lesson is left. So in this video, I am giving you quick recap of rest of the chapter 13, motion and time. So let's begin. So our topic is measuring speed. So in previous video you had learned about speed, how to find speed, and the formula of speed is equal to distance upon time. So if you know the speed, if you know that speed and distance and time. So for example, if you know speed but you don't know about distance, so you can find time and you can find distance also. So you may now, by knowing, you may know like to compare your speed of walking or cycling or riding bike with that of your friend. You need to know the distance of the covered, and each one of you can then measure the time taken to cover that distance and calculate your speed. It means you can compare your speed with your friend's speed. It may be interesting to know that who amongst you is the fastest. So once you know the speed of an object, you can find the speed moved by it in a given time. It means you know the speed, you know the distance also moved, but you don't know that time. So all you have to do is to multiply the speed by the time. If you want to find the distance covered, so your formula will be the distance covered is equal to speed into time. See on page number 150, first column, underline that formula, distance covered is equal to speed multiplied by time. And this way you can also find the time an object would taken to cover a distance while moving with a given speed. And for that, formula will be time taken is equal to distance upon speed. That formula also on page number 150, second column, first line. So you might have seen a meter also fitted on top of a scooter or a motorcycle. Similarly, meters can be seen on the dashboard of car, buses and other vehicles. So the dashboard of a car, not that one of the meter has kilometer per hour and written at one corner, and this is called that speedometer. And it records the speed directly in kilometer per hour. So there is also another meter that measures the distance moved by the vehicle, and this meter is known as odometer. See here, table 13.5 is given. For example, time. When you start your journey at 8 a.m. and that time odometer reading was 36,540 kilometer, and that time still started. It means distance covered, you will write 0, initial point. And after half an hour, it means 8:30, when you again check odometer reading 36,560 kilometer. Yes, it means 36,560 minus initial was 36,540. So 20 kilometer you covered in half hour. Again after half hour, it means 9 a.m. Again you check odometer reading. So odometer reading is 36,580 kilometer. So again you will minus with initial 36,580 minus 36,540. It means 40 kilometer till you covered from 8 to 9. Now again half an hour you will check, again half an hour you will check. So your total distance from the starting point is 80 kilometer. This is the odometer reading. And distance you might have seen also in newspaper and magazines that present information forms of graphs, and many types of graph you had learned till now. You know as bar graph, that other graphical representation is a pie chart also there. Now see, look closely to the picture on page number 152. See, here pie chart is given. Pie chart showing composition of air like that. So you know, in previous video I told you that how to draw graph. If you still not, so you can go through the video where I explain the how to draw graph and all. See here, first you will draw two perpendicular lines to represent the two axes, x-axis and y-axis, and that your initial is O. So O x and O y. After that, it means time you can write on y-axis and distance you write on x-axis. So now decide the quantity to be shown in your table along the x-axis, that to be shown along the y-axis. Then choose a scale to represent the distance and another to represent the time on the graph for motion of the car, and scales. Now mark values for the time and the distance on the respective axis according to the scale you have chosen. Then you have to mark the points on the graph paper to represent each set of values for distance and time. The point corresponding to this set of values on the graph will therefore be the origin itself, and after 1 minute the car has moved a distance of 1 kilometer. It means after that you will join x-axis and y-axis. Now see here in figure also you can see on 13.13 shows the set of points on the graph corresponding to position of the car. Now join all the points on the graph, and it is a straight line. This is the distance time graph for the motion of the car, and if the distance time graph is a straight line, it indicates that the object is moving with a constant speed. However, if the speed of the object keeps changing, the graph can be of any shape. See on page number 53, second column, last paragraph is very important. Underline it. If the distance time graph is a straight line, it indicates that the object is moving with a constant speed. However, if the speed of the object keeps changing, the graph can be of any shape. See, now one more graph is there here. Distance time graph of a bus is given. So generally the choice of scale is not as simple as in the example. We may have to choose two different scales to represent the desired quantities on the x-axis and the y-axis. So some of the points to be kept in mind while choosing the most suitable scale for drawing a graph are page number 154, second column. The difference between the highest and the lowest values of each quantity, the intermediate values of each quantity, so that with the scale chosen it is convenient to mark the values on the graph. And third point is to utilize the maximum part of the paper on which the graph is to be drawn. See here, all 3 points are very important. Page number 154, second column. 3 points are there. Underline that 3 points again. The difference between the highest and the lowest values of each quantity, the intermediate values of each quantity, so that with the scale chosen it is convenient to mark the values on the graph and to utilize the maximum part of the paper on which the graph is to be drawn. So distance time graph provide a variety of information about the motion when compared to the data presented by a table. So on the other hand, from the distance time graph we can find the distance moved by any vehicle at any instant of time. Suppose we want to know how much distance the vehicle had travelled at 8:15 am. We mark the point corresponding to the time 8:15 am on the x-axis, and suppose this point is A. So next we draw a line perpendicular to the x-axis, or we can say parallel to the y-axis at point A. We then mark the point T on the graph at which this perpendicular line intersects it. And after that we draw a line through the point T parallel to the x-axis, and this intersects the y-axis at the point B. So the distance corresponding to the point B on the y-axis, and OB gives us the distance in kilometer covered by the vehicle at 8:15 am. So this way you can find the speed of the vehicle, and if you know the speed of the vehicle you can find time, you can find distance of the vehicle. So here some important points are given. First point is the distance moved by an object in a unit time is called its speed. This is the definition of speed. What is speed? So the distance moved by an object in a unit time is called its speed. Second, speed of object help us to decide which one is moving faster than the other. Third, the speed of an object is the distance travelled divided by the time taken to cover that distance. Its basic unit is meter per second. Periodic events are used for the measurement of time. Periodic motion of a pendulum has been used to make clocks and watches. Motion of object can be presented in pictorial form by their distance time graph. The distance time graph for the motion of an object moving with a constant speed is a straight line. So now student, here our recap of chapter 13 motion and time is completed. Now in next video I will explain textual exercise. Hope you understand, and students, thank you. All the best for your